What's good people? It's your boy, Mr. Timothy D. Hall. Now, I got to get up on here today, and I'm talking a little bit. Hey, I always talk about this concept of women empowerment. People may or may not like this stuff, but I got to talk about it because, again, when talking about these different type of things, man, I always say things out of love, man. And sometimes we have been living in lies so much that when the truth gets brought up, it's foreign and we don't like it. It's hard for a lot of people to deal with reality because people like they live in lies and illusions their whole life. And this is why a lot of times we get to a place in our lives where we're so much more focused on the image of who we are in comparison to the actual person that you are. And so when we're more focusing on the image, a lot of times that's like you catering to the ego or a view of yourself that is, from that perspective. But when you real about who you are, you kind of like connecting to your soul. You understand? Like the ego is like the devil, and then the soul is like God, whatever the case may be. But you stand in truth. And it's important to understand truth because a lot of times when you hear the truth hurts. Nobody likes the truth a lot of times because it hurts our ego. But at the same time, we got to get to the truth, because if we don't get to the truth of the matter, or the truth is not spoken, a lot of times we'll have what we have right now, where a lot of people out here and they lost. A lot of people lost. A lot of people hurt. A lot of people, they live in like from their ego and everything. And a lot of people, like, they put on facades and stuff like that. But a lot of people are hurt inside. A lot of people, you know what I mean? And the reason being is because we've been lied to so much that, like, we can't tell anything from anything. And so with that being said, this is why I always got to harp on a lot of these social programs, because the way that we've gotten here, one of the ways that we got here was the liberalists. That's not. I'm not even trying to take it like a conservative versus liberal. I'm not trying to even get into some type of political thing. I'm trying to say these programs, a lot of these programs, they continuously keep on getting pumped in. And they're being pumped in, and they're being pumped into our society and into our framework under the false guide that they're trying to help us, which is nothing. Like, a lot of these programs, they're not trying to help us whatsoever. A lot of times they're trying to destabilize you. They're trying to destabilize a lot of people. This is why they're bringing in these programs and consistently keep on harping on these programs. Because with these programs, though they're trying to say that they're doing it, like a lot of times, again, I always say that the devil, a lot of times when the devil comes to you, he disguises himself as the angel of light. And when he's disguising himself as the angel of light, it's important, because if you knew that the devil's coming to you, you would not interact with the devil. But when they come to you as an angel of light, again, like a narcissist is like literally the devil. Like the devil is literally a narcissist. But that's how a narcissist would do. A narcissist will come in and they will fill up that ego. That's, again, this is why your ego is very important. You got to be careful watching that ego. But a lot of times the narcissists, they'll seep their way into your life, and they'll boost that your ego. But a lot of times they come with a false pretense of who they truly are. They have a mask on, just like with the devil. The devil comes to you as an angel of light. So with that being said, a lot of these programs, they're coming in a way where they're trying to say that we're combating a lot of the problems that are out here in societies. And a lot of times these people are lying their asses off. And even if they're not lying their asses off, a lot of times they are the ones that are introducing these problems in the very first place. The Hegelian dialectic, or not necessarily the Hegelian dialectic, I guess you can, but there's other different type of tactics. A lot of times when you want to destabilize a country, or you want to destabilize a group of people, because you got to understand, America, or whatever the case may be, this body, our body of government and stuff like that, we do not change when things are good. How often do people change when things are good in your life? Like, people can't even change on an individual level. A lot of people just don't like change. They don't like change whatsoever. And so with that being said, this society, or whoever is really puppeteering, they want to get people in a certain type of perspective where they can just manipulate easily. They can control people very easily. And that's the notion. That's the reason why they're bringing in all these programs, is because they really want to control people as easily as they possibly can, and without any type of resistance or whatever the case may be. And so a lot of times these people, they start up ruckuses. They start up ruckus, or they're taking real life issues and then they're plastering it on TVs when it fits them most. When their agenda is now aligned with whatever is on the TV, what's being shown on the TV. Oh, now they're gonna, the egregiousness that, like, people got to go through. Like, you could talk about the black community or whatever, but that's the time where they now care about these communities, because now what they'll do is they'll start plastering this quote unquote injustice and injustice about what black people or these people are doing, whatever the case. And they're not wrong necessarily with what they're saying, but they're doing it for disingenuous reasons. They don't really truly care, but they'll plaster it all over the place. You know why? It's because, again, when people are at peace and nothing is wrong, people don't like change. How do you get change? A lot of times you need change through significant events, or like you got to get emotional ruckus inside of the American population. This is why they plaster those videos and stuff like that of people getting killed and da 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 da. And that's why they always got these perpetual stories. You got to understand, there's only a couple of people, most of the media that you see, it's owned by very few people. You can't get up on TV. You can't get up in a lot of these places and just talk. A lot of these people that are at a higher level, professional, people who have a certain type of profile, a lot of these people just can't say what they want. A lot of times people got contracts. And when you say something outside of the ordinary or something outside of what everybody else is saying, you're going to get fired. You're going to get canceled. And this is the type of thing that we're doing. But this is what I'm talking about with the disingenuous of these programs. They keep on saying that they care about equality and they care about all these different type of things, and will condemn the conservative side. Typically, you see this liberal versus conservative. And I'm not on necessarily on any side. It ain't got nothing to do with that. But what I'm trying to get at is, you see people, these new programs, you can say that they're more so liberal, and they're coming in under the guise that the conservatives are hurting, they're oppressing the people on this side of the fence, the liberal side of the fence, like minorities, women, and people who have different type of sexual orientations or some type of gender reassignment, whatever the case may be. This conservative idea of family, even the family in of itself with a patriarch. They got people running around here talking about the patriarchy, the white patriarchy. We need to dismantle the patriarchy. We need to dismantle the nuclear family. The nuclear family is the man, the husband, and then the kids. So what we are doing effectively, like they're bringing in, they get everybody from this state where people are good, they're content, they don't want to change. Again, they have to push into society some type of significant significant event, and therein lies like a lot of that Black Lives Matter. Because contrary to popular belief, black people have been getting killed. Black men especially have been getting killed consistently. It's not new that cops shoot black people down in the street. That's nothing new whatsoever. But if you see a growing trend, you see a trend always where they'll pick it up and drop it, pick it up and drop it, pick it up and drop it, pick it up and drop it. They're picking up the issues of black people when it best suits them. And when it best suits them and they need to get an emotional rise out of people, they use whatever they can. And so they'll put stories on there purposefully. They'll put them on there purposefully for the fact that they want people to get in this emotional state, because now people are no longer content with what's going on. A lot of people, they're emotionally charged, and this is why they push emotions so much. This is why they have this sensitivity and all this other stuff. This is why they do it so much. Again, they try to bring it up and try to act again as the devil, in disguise. They try to bring up emotions and a lot of stuff like that, and they'll talk about the sensitivity, and then they'll show you the injustice that certain people have, and then they'll also say, "Oh, these people didn't have the opportunity to speak. Oh, these people don't have this, and whatever the case may be." And so we, as rational people, and then not only are we seeing people getting killed down in the streets, especially like black men, you see them getting killed down in the streets, and then you hear about all the other oppression a lot of times, and you get a narrative a lot of times about what has happened between black and white people, da 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 da. A lot of people, we get very emotionally charged in that, and it's justifiably so. It's understandable, and that's fine. But this is the point that you got to understand. They want to induce that emotional reaction out of you on purpose. It's on purpose, because again, prior to them inducing that emotional, stimulus or whatever, that stimuli, i.e. a black dude getting shot and killed in the street, and so they plastered it all over television. Prior to that, people don't have to change. They don't want to change. There's no reason to change. They keep on consistently use this. You look back all the way back in the slavery times, it was Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom cabin. You go all the way up to the 60s, it was civil rights, and the people in Birmingham getting shot down with hoses and dogs. Now in 2022, it's Black Lives Matter or wherever that started. But my, what me getting to say all this stuff is, we are human, and emotions are very, we're human. We don't like to necessarily see people being hurt. We do, and then we don't. It's weird, but especially when there's certain type of narratives or history that's been taught to us in a certain type of way. Oh man, we emotionally charged. A lot of times we very, very much emotionally charged. But this is the thing that you got to understand. This is when you're emotionally charged about a lot of type of stuff. You got to really watch yourself and be careful. How often do you make decisions that in an emotional state that you regret later? When you calm down and you are no longer in an emotional state, how often do you do things when you're in an emotional state that you're like, dang man, I should never done that? Some people are in jail and they will be in jail for the rest of their life because of an emotional type of reaction. And at the same time, your emotions are so strong that a lot of times we would even when people get, if we give leeway almost if a person was to commit a crime under the guise of emotional abuse or some type of emotional stimulus. If somebody was to kill somebody, like let's say, just say for example, like a husband came home and the husband sees his wife in bed with another man, and he's very emotional about that, and so he kills them both with a gun, whatever the case may be, and now both of them are dead. Even though he killed both of them, a lot of times, people, we will give him some type of grace. We'll give him grace. He's still going to go to jail, but he probably won't go to jail as much as somebody who just did it in cold blood. Because we're giving credence, or we're giving that leeway to somebody that this person, we take the emotions into account, because we can understand like how we might feel if you came home and your partner is in bed with another person. Sometimes you'll get emotionally riled up and everything like that. So we give leeway to people even in a lot of different type of situations. But with all that being said, emotions are important, but they're pushing them. They're not pushing it because they truly care about people's emotional state. They don't really care about the sensitivity and all this other BS that they're talking about. They could give two rats asses about any of that type of stuff. I always say, notice where they put the emotional energy. Notice when they give people the ability to be emotionally hurt by things, and then in corporations or whatever the case may be, they now need to take heed. Like it's only a certain population of people. It's only certain groups of people at certain times. Like when I say certain people at certain times, sometimes it could be black versus white. Sometimes the black people will be able to say things that the white people can't say. The same thing, but if you were to break that down, is man versus woman. A lot of black men, they can't say what, what I mean? Like, it's different type of categories. It's categories. But with all that being said, because we are in an emotional state, a lot of times we don't think clearly. We don't think clearly. And guess what happens? This is emotionals. A lot of times when you're in an emotional state, yes, you are very vulnerable. You're very, 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 very much vulnerable. You know who or what group of people love it when you're in an emotional state? A narcissistic type of person. A narcissistic type of person loves it. In fact, narcissistic people, they manipulate people through their emotions each and every time. That's how they manipulate people. They get into your head, they play these mental games and things of that nature, and they know how you move, they know how you walk, they know how you talk, they know everything about you, because it was at one point they studied you like it was, they had like a final exam, like you a final exam. They studied everything about you. They know who you are. And so because they know who you are, now they can run game on you. And they got to run game through your emotions. They got to manipulate your mind through your emotions a lot of times. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to try to keep on. They're going to puff up different type of illusions. They'll, you know what I mean? And if you're unsuspecting, a lot of times that's what a lot of people are. Because you're unsuspecting, you're much more easier prone to get manipulated and get swindled for everything you got by a narcissistic type of person. That narcissistic person is going to tear you down as much as they possibly can. They're going to strip everything away from you as much as they possibly can, and then dip and grow and leave you on the floor to die and come back whenever they want to. That's what a narcissistic type of person would do. No soul, just completely impaired of any type of empathy. But the narcissist has to manipulate through your emotions. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important. Narcissism is big right now. I'm pretty sure narcissism more likely was already big, throughout centuries, but it's huge right now. It's huge. Everybody's talking about this doggone concept of narcissism, and the people are looking down and they flame the tree like, dang man, this is a narcissistic type of family. Oh dang man, I was in this relationship, it was narcissistic. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like you're able to pinpoint things and see how people were moving and how people was tricking you and manipulating you the entire time. And if if you get far enough, you understand that they were doing it through your emotions. They were doing it during jealousy. They were doing to get you jealous about something. They were doing it to make you feel inadequate. They did everything everything they can to have your emotions up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Because when your emotions are up and down, you're not making logical decisions. You don't understand what this person is doing to you. You in a fog. And they will create illusions. They will go out their way to help get people to aid them in selling an illusion to you. And now that you're thinking about this illusion, especially when other people are confirming what this narcissistic person is saying. A lot of people, they go crazy like that. They're trying to make you crazy. They're trying to induce a reality that is not true into your head, but they're going to do it through emotions and manipulation. They're going to manipulate you through your emotions. They're going to control you through your emotions. Do you see? And so that's why this society do. And this society is very, very narcissistic. It's materialistic. It's just on an outer shell. It has a lot of times we don't have substance inside. A lot of times that's what a narcissist is. They just all the outer coat. They have no substance inside. The substance inside is a dark hole. Nothing's in there. There's a little child somewhere deep, dark, and deep in there, but who knows? But all that being said, again, this is how our society works, and this is why our society pushes emotions in the way that they do. This is why then when they're bringing in these other programs now, anything that we say that is the truth is starting to be suffocated, because now they're operating and they're kicking people off of the airs and stuff like that, because they're saying that people, when these minority groups or whatever the case may be, these social groups, they're getting offended when certain people talk or say certain things, or you get in trouble when you're on television or at school or anywhere, when you say certain type of things, and it upsets people. It upsets people in any type of community. You know what I mean? Like if you're a white person, you said something that towards black people, they'll conceive you. They'll say you're a racist, and then they'll cancel you. They'll get you up off the air. You a straight dude, you say something about a gay dude, and again, this ain't got nothing to do with hatred. It's sometimes you can just be telling the truth about a situation. There's controversy right now about what is a woman. What is a woman? And people in the T community, women in the T community, and other women, like they're both like, we don't know what a woman is. You got to understand, like, that's how the devil works. That's how a narcissistic type of person works. They work in confusion. They're trying to confuse us. They're gaslighting us a lot of times. And the way that they're gaslighting us and the way that they're trying to effectively confuse us is through these social programs. A lot of these social programs, they have merit. I'm not trying to say that they don't have merit at all, but the way that they're coming about and trying to introduce them into society and push it onto other people and try to say that we need to be caring and careful with people's emotions and things of that nature. The way that they doing it is so disingenuous, it's ridiculous. It's disingenuous to its core. They really don't care about these people. They don't care about the empowerment of women. They do not really truly care about people in this T community. They really don't care about people who have whatever sexual orientation that they got. They really don't care about these black people, white people, whatever. They don't give a damn. They've never given a damn. That's not the reason why they're bringing in these programs. But again, they need to get you in an emotional state, because now that you're in an emotional state, when you saw all this stuff happen with the black people or Black Lives Matter or black dudes getting shot, everybody's emotional. Now everybody's going in to help or whatever case may be. And at the same time that everybody's emotional about the Black Lives Matter, a lot of times we don't keep our eyes on the prize. A lot of times when you're in that emotional state, it's almost like you're a leaf in the wind. Now that you're in an emotional state, guess what they're going to start doing? They're going to pump in everything else. They're going, after that Black Lives Matter was the spearheaded, the top, the apex of a knife or whatever the case may be. It was the reason why the country got emotional in the very first place. Out of nowhere, they're gonna stuff in all these other programs. Now they stuff it in black. I don't know how Black Lives Matter went from Black Lives Matter to now women empowerment. From Black Lives Matter to now people of the same sexual orientation. From Black Lives Matter to people in the T community or whatever the case may be, or from Black Lives Matter to the destruction of the nuclear family. I have no idea how we got there. How is it that we gotten so far off topic? But again, when we're in an emotional state, we get off topic. Everybody does this. And again, this is the purpose of a narcissist. A narcissist wants to confuse you through your emotions. That's why they push emotions. That's why they push it so hard. That's why they push sensitivity so hard. Why? And you know, on one end, because we're in this emotional fervor about what happens with Black Lives Matter or black men getting killed down in the street, we're unaware that they're sneaking in all these other programs. We're unaware of that. And not only that, now we're also teaching certain type of things to our kids. We're indoctrinating them a lot of times. A lot of these universities, a lot of these places, a lot of these schools are indoctrinating kids with different type of ideologies. That you know, whatever type of ideology, a lot of parents probably don't even know what the hell ideologies that these people are teaching in their class. You got some places where they're teaching kids about sexual orientation in the damn third grade. They think that's better than math and science. What type of silly ass shit is that? These kids probably don't even know where the hell they probably don't wipe their butt, you know, but they don't wipe their butt correctly, but they got the ability to, you know, find out their sexual orientation. And don't get me wrong, I understand that people might, but it's like what? What's going on here? Again, I think it's confusion. I think it's nothing more than they trying to confuse the hell up out of people. Because in the confusion, hey, I'm telling you, confusion is a narcissist's wet dream. Everybody's emotional is a narcissistic type of person's wet dream. Because now they can play with you like putty. They can play with you like putty. And now you got other people who, and again, I always say that, man, they pimp people's pain. They pimp women's pain. They pimp black people's pain. They pimp people's pain. They pimp it. They pimp it, and they pimp it hard. There are people in the T community that have been harassed or whatever the case may be, and they're talking about the injustice against people in the T community, but it's very disingenuous. They truly don't care about that. What they want is what they're giving people now. Again, since we are in this emotional fervor, not only are we not noticing that they're sneaking in all these other programs, but simultaneously at the same time, they also are putting people up on TV. And now these people on TV are talking about we need justice, we need this, that, da, 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 da. We need all these different type of things. They'll condemn people in the conservative side, but if you look at it, it's truly, a lot of the times you talk to a lot of these social justice people or the people who truly believe in these programs and stuff, they're just like the damn conservatives. The only difference is they're just on the other side of the coin. Their tactics is a lot of times still the same. They talk about how can you judge people? You know, these people over here be saying, well, you know, why does those conservatives? Why are they judging people? Da 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 da. They need to be more open minded. Da 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 da. And in the same vein, when somebody's coming up to a person that believes in a lot of these ideologies with these new social programs, talk to the right person. They'll be losing their damn mind. You can look online right now and go to social justice warrior meltdowns where people are like losing their damn mind. And in the same way that they're talking about the conservatives are doing certain type of tactics, calling people's names and discriminating and they do the exact same thing to people. Both of these people are the damn same. It's just a flip of the coin. One is heads and the other one is tails. Their tactics are the same. But at the end of the day, both sides think that they're righteous. Both sides think that their way is the right way. They can't see the failure, and both sides can't see the failure or the mistakes or whatever, because they feel like they're right. Because the truth of the matter is, they both are right and they both are wrong. But we don't see that part. We are leaning on heavy on one or two sides. There is a problem. Life is about balance. You got to have balance. No, things shouldn't be extremely conservative. At the same time, things shouldn't be too liberal. If it's too conservative, a lot of times it'll turn into a dictatorship. If it's too liberal, it'll turn into what's that place they got killed? Sodom and Gomorrah, whatever. It'll turn into a real crazy, like Babylon or whatever. You understand? Like a crazy just place. Or it turned in like in the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was brought down because of all the different type of influences that were weakening the structure or the stronghold, the government of the Roman Republic. And we carry that Roman Republic type of system right now. But that's what took it down is because of the all the stuff that was pushed up into that government. It was too liberal, and it got it dwindled and it crumbled as a result. You know, but with that being said, you know, again, to get back on these programs, they push emotions because they understand that there are people out there that have gone through things that have experienced great pain. There are women who have been hurt by men. There are black people who've been hurt by white people, or whatever the case may be. It's been, people who are in the T community have been harassed, people of the same sexual orientation, like, something has happened to them. Or even the nuclear family. Sometimes the family can be toxic. Yes, indeed. Yes, absolutely. A lot of these people have been suffering. It's not to say that people haven't been suffering. That's what I mean when not trying to say like these programs do not have merit. Yes, these people do go through a lot, but in the same vein, a lot of other people go through things too. A lot of men go through things, and nobody really gives a damn about what the hell the men go through. A lot of times, again, that's another reason why you got to really be looking at these programs, because there's no balance. There's never any balance. It's always on one side. That's a problem. That's a huge problem that we got to understand. There's a huge when something a system is balanced, it's off balance, it's heavy on one side and not on the other one. You need to something is very, very wrong. No system in the world can run without balance. Everything is balanced. Your body regulates itself. It's called homeostasis. Whenever once something happens with your body, like for example, if you got cut or whatever case, and now you have this open wound, what your body's going to do is try its best to preserve as much blood as possible, and then also at the same time work on a way to cover up that wound, because if you lose too much blood, your body's going to die. So because your body is reacting and trying to stop that bleeding, it's going to stop. It's going to slow down productions in other places of your body. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's going to slow down productions because it needs to stay in homeostasis. If your body does not stay in that homeostasis state, a lot of times you're going to die. You got to regulate, your body regulates your temperature when you're really cold. That's why you shiver. Your teeth are shaky. Your body is literally forcing itself to move back and forth to warm you up. You're shivering because that's what that shivering is. Your body's trying to get your heat up because you're in a cold place. You can think about, I always use the example of diabetes. You know, people who eat a lot of sugar or whatever. Okay? Some people are born with diabetics. Other people develop type 2 diabetes. But essentially, diabetes is simply your body's no longer able to accurately and regulate the amount of sugar in your bloodstream. So what happens a lot of times is, we use you use the hormone insulin. When you eat a lot in the normal person's system, the insulin will regulate and it'll remove sugar out of the bloodstream. If it doesn't, you'll go into a hyperglycemic state and could potentially die as a result. And then in the same vein, on other occasions, sometimes there's not enough sugar in your body. And so your body goes into a hypoglycemic state and you can still die. But with that being said, you got insulin is their regulator. People with diabetes, their insulin is not regulated. So they have to offset the irregulation with like an injection into their stomach or whatever. And at the end of the day, they get the insulin. But the point is balance. When the system is not balanced, understand somebody's bullshitting. Something is wrong there. Something is absolutely wrong when people or you come up to a system and it's glaringly obvious that the system is unbalanced. Something is very wrong. You got to really take a step back and look at that. It's wrong. Very, very, just like, for example, like if you got a person out here, if somebody coming up to you and they just give you something for free, how often do you think that person just giving you something for free? Something's off balance. Why would this person be doing something for you and you ain't do nothing for that person? That person like, oh, no. Sometimes you can have people like that, but it's very rare. Most people be like, no, I don't want that. Why are you giving me that? Why? And why you act like that, right? That way? Why are you reacting to this person that way? Because you understand that it needs to be a fair trade. People ain't just gonna give you nothing for free. You know that. But that's exactly what we do in this society on our social concepts. I mean, a lot of our social concepts. You think about the idea, they got the term toxic masculinity, but they don't have the term toxic femininity. They don't even understand. You say that word to people think that you have lost your mind. What is toxic masculinity? They will look at you like you speak in Mandarin or you speaking another language. They're like, what in the world are you talking about toxic? But people could talk easily about, I'm sorry, they'll be like, what is toxic femininity? But they'll talk very easily on toxic masculinity. You got to understand that these systems can't work. If it was only toxic masculinity, our system would topple over. There's no balance. I do believe that they're true when they say toxic masculinity, but there's toxic femininity too. Again, homeostasis, even in the negative way, in the sense that you're inputting toxins into your body. As crazy as it sounds, even when you putting toxins in your body, 2 toxins can a lot of times will keep you safe. Don't be going out there drinking toxins. But you understand, like, for example, I was using this example of cancer. When people have cancer, your cells, it's something called mitotically active, just meaning like, it replicates very fast. Your cells replicate. And so cancer is like your cells at whatever point in your body, they keep on rapidly producing more and more cells. That's not what your body's supposed to do. Your body's supposed to regulate the amount of cells that you have. And so with that being said, what they do with you, if you have cancer, a lot of times is they typically use like some type of chemo or whatever the case may be. In chemotherapy, a lot of times what happens is they pump toxins, poisons into your body. You know why they do that? To kill off the cancerous cells. They're literally pumping poison into your body to offset the amount of cells that's in your body. You understand what I'm saying? So like you see, again, it's a balance. They're literally pumping poison into you to kill off cells, because if the cells in your body, if they keep on going and going and going, they're going to kill you. You see, it's even in this situation, there's a balance. There's a toxin. There's two toxic things. You would think that you would think that you don't want to go into your body and remove cells. If you go in your body and start to remove cells, a lot of times, hey, you probably got an autoimmune disease or something like that. You don't want to go in your body and start. But when there's an excess amount of cells like cancer, you got to pump poison into your body to get rid of the excess. But again, at the end of the day, you see that there's balance. It has to always be balanced. So if there's a such thing as toxic masculinity, there has to be a such thing as toxic femininity. And this is the thing I'm trying to get at. This is what people are missing right here. How in the world is it that people don't even look at this situation and say, that's not, we talk about equality all the time. We talk about it all the time. We talk about with feminism, that's what equality is all the time. And yet we are glaringly, obviously looking at a system like again, you can just take, for example, toxic masculinity. We literally are saying in one breath that we believe in equality. In the next breath, we don't even we're only acknowledging that there's toxic masculinity. People don't even understand. People are like, what is toxic femininity? There's a problem there. That's a big problem. You got to understand that it's a big problem. Somebody trying to run some game on you. People don't do that for again, this is a one-sided relationship. What's going on here? There's a problem right here. There's a big problem. These people are trying to pimp you. And they pimping people, man. They pimp people. They pimp. They pimp people's pain. I'm telling you. They pimp your pain. Then they start to bring in these disingenuous reforms. And the disingenuous reforms, they're not there to help. They're not there. They're saying that we're bringing in these programs to help you. But in actuality, it's the complete opposite. A lot of times you look at the women empowerment. Guess who suffers the most a lot of times with the women empowerment? Women do. Women suffer a lot. Men suffer, but not, relatively speaking, but a lot of women, they suffer from the women empowerment a lot of times. And again, they tell women certain type of things. They tell a lot of women to, like, their whole lives to go out there and be a man. And then they tell men that their whole lives to go out there and be a woman. And then they wondering why both sides are clashing with each other. But again, even in this situation, do you see what they do right here? In order for women to turn into men, they have to effeminize, because they're trying to turn women into men, they have to effeminize the men. Do you see what I'm saying? When there has to be a balance, there can't be two bulls in one yard. That's truly probably what's there cannot be two bulls in one pen. There can only be one dominant, one masculine, one feminine. And that's why they're trying to flip it. They're gonna flip it. But they're doing it from the guys that they're trying to help and empower women for whatever bullshit reason that they're saying. People do not change. Human nature does not change. And it's not to be disrespectful at all towards women. But I'm just trying to say, man, people got to understand like this from a perspective. You got to look at this. We got to get up out of our feelings. Because if you look at this only in your feelings, you will miss the point. You're too busy focusing like, but again, like they have been programming women their whole lives to say that I'm better, like that you can do things just as good as a man can. Whoever said that you couldn't? Who, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like that's what they're going to pump into women's heads. They're going to pump all these ideas that a man is out there to hurt and harm her. And a lot of times women, they go out here and they get with certain dudes and they do hurt and harm them. They do. And so it reinforces, especially if other women have gotten hurt and, maybe a woman is in, she's in an atmosphere with a lot of other women, and they're all saying the same things. Of course, they're gonna believe, oh yeah, men are like this way, but it's not. That's not the case whatsoever. You know what I mean? And just in general, sometimes women they like to, they like some women, they like the emotional turmoil, so they like to go into relationships like that, where it's toxic and all this other stuff. A lot of women, if they telling you the truth, they like that stuff. They like it a lot because it's regulating their emotions. Their emotions is like on a roller coaster. A lot of times women will throw away a guy that's kind of like productive or whatever the case may be, that's peaceful and stuff like that. Because sometimes women see that person as boring. It is what it is. It's not to be disrespectful, but it is what it is. But again, this life is about balance, and we gotta really truly harp on why are they doing things in an unbalanced manner. You gotta really look at that. Why are they doing these things in an unbalanced manner? Why are they giving certain individuals, certain groups, privileges, and the other group does not get any privileges, and everybody's cool with that? Why is that the case? Why is it okay for women to get on TV and talk bad about men, but when a man get up and say something about a woman, even if he's not even necessarily correcting her, he's just saying something, people go after that dude with pitchforks and torches. They say he's the worst person that ever lived on this earth. They do this in so many other different ways and so many other different factions. And I think that and again, at the end of the day, I think there's a multitude of reasons why they keep on harping on the empowerment of women. And again, it's not to be disrespectful towards women. I know a lot of people ain't even gonna hear it, but I gotta just say the truth about what's going on. People ain't gonna hear it. It's no way in shape or form supposed to be that I'm bashing a woman or anything like that. Like a woman cannot do whatever. It ain't got nothing to do with it. But God put us on earth for a certain type of reason. They put us on earth for a certain type of reasons. A man has a certain type of nature. A woman has a certain type of nature. And the people that's truly at the top, puppeteering all this stuff, they understand that fundament. They understand it. Again, like a narcissist understands you through and through because they've been studying you. They know how you're going to move. They know how you're going to act. They know. That's why they take the tactics and they manipulate you in the way that they can. That's how they're so effective, because they already know you. In the same vein, this society or whoever's at the top puppeteering a lot of this stuff, they understand in the same way. They understand how women move and what's the nature of a woman, and they understand how men move and what's the nature of a man. So what they do is they tell you, all your men and women, that their whole life that they're the same. Now they're giving out doctrines and stuff like that, how men have always oppressed women, and now it's women's time to get up and take the throne and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They give out bullshit narratives about what has happened in the past, but a lot of times people don't read the history. So they're able to get away with it because people don't take that time to educate themselves on what truly happened in the past. So they bullshit everybody, and a lot of times people fall for it. A lot of people fall for it because I don't think a lot of people be reading the history books. A lot of us get indoctrinated. In these classrooms and stuff like that, we get indoctrinated. We're not learning, we're getting indoctrinated with a certain type of idea or mindset of what has happened in the past. When I say indoctrination, again, like you can think about like even something like with Black history. A lot of times Black history is about slavery, and then the jazz musicians, the Harlem Renaissance, and then civil rights, and then Barack Obama. That's what Black history is. They will miss out on a lot of stuff. They leave out so much stuff with Black history is ridiculous. They don't ever talk about Marcus Garvey or anything. They don't talk about true Black history in this country. They leave out a lot of stuff, and they do it on purpose because they're trying to indoctrinate people. They're indoctrinated. They're not trying to teach people. They're indoctrinating people, whether people know that or not. They want you to have a certain type of mindset. They're not going to give Black people or people who lived in this country with darker skin, they're not going to give them all that damn credit. Are you crazy? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? No, they're indoctrinating that ass. That's not important. This Marcus Garvey, these people over here, that's not important. This is what's important. Why? It's because they indoctrinating that ass. That's exactly what they're doing. But they do that. They do that with a lot of stuff. They do that with men, and again, it's an all-out war against men, and they're doing it on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. You know why they're doing it on purpose? Again, I'm not trying to, because God has made us in a certain type of way. A woman's nature, a lot of times, is she's going to follow a man. A lot of women, they want to follow a man. That's what they want, deep down inside. But at the same time, a lot of women don't want that because they don't want to get controlled by whatever. But the divine, that's how the divine order is. That's how God set it up. It's God. The man is looking up to God and following God. The woman is looking up and following her husband or man, and then the kids are following the mother. When the man turns away from God, the woman turns away from the man, and then the kids turn away from the mother, and then we have complete and utter chaos. It's kind of like what's going on right here and now. But again, women have been women have a certain type of nature. A lot of women, they don't. A lot of women, if they're being honest with you, they're being truly honest, and a lot of times, even if they're not honest, you can look at the actions of the way to how a lot of women move. They they say that they want like good a man with good qualities, but a lot of times women want a man that has more than them. Money, education, whatever the case may be. A lot of times you see women, they say, "Oh yeah, I went to school, so I want a husband that went to school." And the thing is, it's not necessarily that she's wrong. I don't think she's wrong at all in saying that. But you got to understand that now a woman will disqualify a lot of men because they never went to college. They never did this. But a lot of times, sometimes your soulmate could be a dude that never went to college. But you automatically disqualified him. But a lot of times that's what they do with the women. They tell you, oh yeah, you better, you this, you this, you this. Like, you don't need these men, da 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 da. And it sounds good. It sounds really good. But at the end of the day, it hurts a lot of women. It does. It really hurts a lot of women. They're not empowering women simply because they truly want women to be in this position. Again, human nature does not change. How often do you see women, they're disgusted with dudes that they feel like they got to lead? How often do you see that? Like, how often do you have women that like even if they married to a dude and she's running that household, how often does she even remotely respect respects that dude? She does not respect that dude. Women, they don't. They respect. They want a person that's above them. They don't want a person that's beneath them. That's what a lot of women will say if they're being honest with you. So with that being said, if they're empowering all women and they're actively out there trying to put women in positions of authority, again, you got to really look at this from the perspective of why are they pushing this stuff so hard? It's not to say that women don't deserve the just due. But I don't think that people should be put in positions or whatever the case may be. And this is not even necessarily about women. This is about men, women, black people, orange people, red, metallic blue, that. They'll say, oh, we need more people in this field. We need people this, and this, and this in this field. A lot of times I'm like, no, you don't necessarily need people in that field that is of the same color or whatever. You need people that understand the damn community. You understand like what the hell is going on. You need people that will understand how to move and groove and do justice in this position. That's what the hell you do. Just because a person is a woman, a black dude, or black woman, or whatever, just because that person has their identity is linked to like one of these minority groups, doesn't mean that none of these people just gonna come in and just automatically just do the best job ever. A lot of times you see it's actually the opposite. Sometimes when people get elected, when people of the same, like, for example, I always call Barack Obama, he could probably be one of the most dangerous people to ever walk this earth, because a lot of times, a lot of black people, they accepted Barack Obama. They didn't give a damn what the hell Barack Obama politics was about, but they voted for Barack Obama because he was black. And they automatically assume, okay, yeah, Barack Obama got our back. And again, I'm not saying he didn't necessarily have your back, whatever the case. All I'm trying to say is you'll be more willing to invest and believe that he's got your back. And so people can strategically, if you at the top, strategically, I put a black person that's on my team. I put his ass in it. Yeah, I'll put him in the goddamn role. I'm not saying that's LeBron. I'm not saying that's Barack Obama. I'm just trying to say in general. Yes, I will put him in the role. I could puppet him, and he could puppet them. You see, they always, that's what they do. But you can't escape female nature. And so when they're empowering women, they're putting these women in positions of authority, and they're putting them over men. Why would they respect the dudes now? Why would they respect them? In any way, shape, or form, why would they respect them? You got to understand that, and then they keep targeting women. You got to look at these commercials. Look how they keep on constantly targeting women. They're targeting women. They're targeting women. They're targeting women. They're telling, oh yeah, you can go be a boss B. You can do this, then this girl, you go get that bag, da 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 da. And women can definitely go do that. It's not necessarily a wrong thing, but but everything is consequences. They tell women to be men. They tell women to run like men. And when women do that, a lot of times they get hurt more so than the men do. It sucks. It's terrible. And women will suffer consequences at times more so than the men will a lot of times out here. they will suffer. A lot of women, they will have to walk around with that baggage. Men more likely do too, but they just don't talk about it as much. But a lot of women, they'll have to carry all the weight and the load of everything that they go. How often do you have women who say, like, the dudes in the past was beating her down, do da da dee dee dee. You hear that pretty doggone often. You know, but again, I think that's one of the major reasons why they say, okay, we're going to empower women. We're going to empower women because we understand how women are going to treat the men. We understand. And then another thing is, again, it's not to be disrespectful, but it's just the real, a woman's nature. A lot of times, a woman's nature is women will typically analyze things through their emotions first and then their logic later. And it's not to say all women do that, but a lot of women do. And you know what we do? We as a society allow that to happen. We allow it to happen. That's why this society is more so emotional or sensitive and stuff, because it's a trait of women. You know what I mean? Women are kind of like running the airways. They're running most of they have effeminized the society. It's an effeminate, masculine type of society. But nevertheless, it's very much feminine. And women typically, they care about the feelings and emotions of other people a lot of times. So they'll be careful with what they say to other people. Sometimes a woman will sugarcoat things as much as possible. Men do it too, but you typically see this with women because women are trying to avoid hurting another person's feelings. You often see women, they again, a lot of women, if they're being honest, sometimes they have stable relationships when they're younger, but because they feel like it's too, they might feel like it's boring. So they'll drop a person that's like probably good for them and stuff like that. And then they'll go for a person that's emotionally abusive. Men do it too, but you see this way more with women. I don't think that men do it as often, but there are a lot of men out there that do the exact same thing, but you typically see a trend that's higher in women than you do that of men. And it's not to knock down women or nothing like that. It's not the negative about it. It's just what it is. It is what it is. But they leave one person because they feel like they're not getting the emotions that they should, and they'll go to a person that's toxic, but that person is giving them all those emotional, and now they got that baggage from that toxic person. You see, and so with that being said, a lot of times a woman's emotions is gonna drive her. If her emotions say she's gonna stay with you, she's gonna stay with you. If her emotions say she's gonna get up and leave, she's gonna get up and leave. A lot of times we give women leeway. Like a lot of times, if a woman is out in the public, if a woman is having an emotional outburst, we allow that woman to have an emotional outburst. We'll give her certain type of labels, or whatever the case may be. But if a woman is out there and she's having an emotional outburst, oh no, you know what we'll call them sometimes? We'll call her Karen. Oh, they'll go Karen. But if a man was to do that, you know what we call him? We'll call him prisoner 24601. Yep, he in cell block C. And that's what we'll do with men if he's having an emotional outburst. We'll put their asses in jail. The hell you think? What the hell you doing? Because with women, it's just more so natural. A lot of times women they're allowed to show those emotions and da. But with all that being said, because of that reason, we have this more so emotional society. And now, because we have this more so emotional society, we are operating based on the facts. We're operating in ways that we're like, okay, if what I'm saying hurts another person's feelings, then we shouldn't say it. But often the truth hurts people's feelings all the time. It hurts people's feelings. And because we don't want to hurt people's feelings, and we're in this more so effeminized type of society. And again, I ain't gonna lie to you, I think that this is a big reason why they putting women in charge. It's not to say that women should, whatever. It's not. I'm not trying to knock it, but I'm trying to say that this is one of those things that they're getting after. Because the women will tend to want to, spare people's feelings and stuff like that. And because women operate in their feelings more, they'll be more likely when things come up. They'll be more likely to be on the side where it's not as things are facts. It's like women will not necessarily look at the facts as much or like harp on those as much as possible, but she'll harp more so on the feeling and the feeling aspect of different type of things, which is good and bad at the same time. But a lot of times it's going to be bad because what happens now is lies are able to just roam all over the place. Lies are just able to just roam the airway. Why do I say that? Lies are able to run the airway, meaning like on television, stuff like that. Lies will be run because now the truth is being suffocated because it hurts people's feelings. The truth hurts people's feelings regardless of It doesn't care. There's no matter, no creed. It's nothing like that. It doesn't matter. The truth hurts people's feelings. It hurts people's feelings. Point blank, period. Because people are going to accept the truth and other people are going to reject it. It's just the fact of the matter. My bad. It's just the fact of the matter. Some people are going to accept it. Other people are going to reject it. Some people are of the truth. Other people are not. So with all that being said, because some people are of the truth and other people are not, the truth is offensive to people. And sometimes, a lot of times, again, we live in states of